Welcome, and thank you for signing up to receive the Personal Revolution Kickstart Kit. The concepts and tools that you will be introduced to in this kit will completely revolutionize your experience of life and help you bring about the change that you have always wanted. What would it be like for you to break free from old patterns that leave you feeling stuck and out of control in your life and begin to take charge of creating exactly the life that you want? This is what I do and what I will help you do through the materials in the Personal Revolution Kickstart Kit. So before we get started, I am Holly McKinley from In the Clear Coaching. I am a trained professional coach, and I specialize in helping people not only get their life on track, but to lay those tracks far beyond what they ever thought they could. I see clients begin the personal revolution process feeling broken, with no real hope of ever achieving their true vision, and in as little as a month begin to have healthier relationships, let go of their out-of-control habits, and achieve greater professional success. So I'm very excited to share this with you. I'm also an accomplished and trained teacher of Buddhism and meditation. I help people understand how to train their minds toward greater happiness using meditation as the primary tool to do this. I bring these two components together when I work with clients to not only help them feel greater peace, clarity, and happiness right now, but to also create a very wide-ranging vision of their future. And then I help them step toward it every day in everything they do. I help people who feel broken or unable to create what they want in life to pick up the pieces and heal their relationship with themselves, so that they can stop holding themselves back from the amazing life of which they are truly capable. I know that even though you want a life that is smooth sailing, more often than not, we feel trapped on an emotional roller coaster. Emotional highs are followed by emotional plunges. You engage in behavior that leaves you feeling physically and emotionally wasted. You feel as if you are never getting anywhere, and the roller coaster ride never seems to end. You are having an out-of-control experience of life, not getting what you want, and have no idea how to gain control. Life is taking you for a ride. So you've come to the right place if you want to stop being afraid of going after that bigger opportunity, such as a better job. Or you want to know how to choose relationships that are a give-give instead of a give-take. You want to treat yourself better, stop eating too much, drinking too much, or smoking too much. You want to silence the constant soundtrack of self-criticism in your head that makes it so hard to get through the day feeling confident and happy. Or you're tired of being either stressed out or in recovery from being stressed out, but never truly ahead of the game and feeling peaceful. All of these experiences are results of being trapped on the roller coaster, and I want to put the tools in your hands to take control of the ride. I know this ride well. I spent a solid 20 years of my life feeling broken, lost, and completely incapable of happiness. I would look at other people who were living these incredible lives full of excitement, success, and creation and think, well, that's just not for me. I endured violent relationships. I worked jobs that were decent but just draining. I was sick all the time. I had ulcers by the time I was 24. I spent half of the day stressed out and angry, and the other half venting and ranting and drinking and overeating to forget about how stressed out and pissed off I was. And I figured, I guess that's just the way it is. I mean, I had everything I thought I needed. An education, a job, money, a nice place to live. I always had a boyfriend, lots of friends, and yet none of it was working. None of it was making me happy. So it was when one of those relationships got really violent and ended in an arrest that I woke up and said, this can't continue. There has to be something else, something better. And that's when I started doing the work on myself to create an entirely different experience of life. Everything that I share at In the Clear Coaching is a distilled version of all of those years of struggle and work I engaged in that brought me to where I am now. This place where I no longer feel broken but complete. And in this video, I want to give you a really strong foundation of this work. So let's get started. The first thing that I want you to understand is that how you see the world affects your entire experience. And how you see the world is based on your own personal filters that you have developed based on your experiences, values, and beliefs. The world is not something out there that is happening to us. It is something that we experience from the inside out. Our filters can either give us a very narrow view of the world and create stress and hold us back from success, happiness, and purpose, or they can help us see an expanded view of the world and help us to create opportunity, achieve great success, and be happy in all situations. What all this means is that you need to stop thinking that things are just going to get better on their own. I get it. I've been there. You think, if I just keep going, something better will come along. But it won't. We know that. Just like happy hour will never actually make you happy. So it's time to go to work cleaning our lens and getting clear on how it is that we can create the life we want. The quote that you see here beautifully states just that. We do not see the world as it is, we see it as we are. So there are two basic ways that you can go about doing this. The first is to get real about the filters that you have in place and to understand what they mean for your experience. The other is to remove all those hidden inner roadblocks that are tripping us up without us even realizing it. In this way, we can start putting together the puzzle of our life. Once we have the complete picture, our experience is not such a puzzle after all. Let's start looking at those filters. These filters show up as levels of energy. These levels of energy drive us by informing the decisions we make and affecting how we engage in every part of our lives, whether it be work, family, relationships, or even the way we spend our free time. They also create our experience by attracting certain opportunities and people and repelling others. So often we get exactly what we don't want in life because we are broadcasting signals that draw it to us. We transmit these signals so powerfully that they show up very clearly in our lives, even if we aren't aware of them. These levels of energy fall into two categories. The first category of energy is known as catabolic. The simplest way to recognize catabolic energy is that it is the type of energy that brings us down. It brings us down when other people around us are exhibiting it, and it brings us down when we ourselves are stuck in it. And stuck is the perfect word to describe this type of energy, because that is exactly where it keeps us. Catabolic energy is very draining. While it can provide us with an energetic boost to combat a stressful or dangerous situation, it also shuts down our options. On a long-term basis, if we are living constantly with catabolic energy, it has incredibly destructive mental, emotional, and physical effects. It is destructive to you and to those around you. Some of the feelings and experiences that characterize catabolic energy are feeling like we are a victim of circumstances, like we have no control and nothing matters anyways. Or we may feel constantly frustrated and angry and not be able to find peace or solutions to our problems. We may feel lethargic and want to give up and do nothing. Or we act out in ways that hurt ourselves and others. Overall, we are living in a very unconscious way. We are not creating our experience. We are at the effect of life instead of being at the cause. Too much catabolic energy leaves us feeling incomplete and unable to fit together the pieces. We can't get a better job. We stay in relationships that are filled with arguments and hurt feelings. We obsess about what our lives should be without ever really taking action to change or even knowing what we want. You need to remember that you are a complete picture. You have all the pieces of the puzzle. You just need to know how to fit them together to create the picture that you want. By understanding our levels of catabolic energy and knowing how to lessen their effects, we give ourselves a chance to do this. The second category of energy is known as anabolic. Think of a person you admire, a person who has a positive outlook and seems to walk through life effortlessly, gathering good friends and successes. These are the people that we enjoy being around, that inspire us. These are the people that have a lot of anabolic energy in place. They view the world as a positive place to be, and they find the opportunities in life. They don't get dragged down by circumstances. Anabolic energy is constructive, expanding, fueling, healing, and growth-oriented. This is the energy that moves us forward. You know those magical moments in which you simply feel happy for no reason? The magic in those moments is the anabolic energy. Just like we have to constantly update the operating systems on our computers so that they will run at peak performance, we can upgrade our own operating system to a more anabolic one and give ourselves a more consistently positive experience. This type of energy begins when we start taking responsibility for our experience. When we turn our attention inward and understand that we have a choice in every moment as to what kind of experience we have. We no longer judge or fear any part of our experience, but see the opportunity in everything. As a result of knowing how to think and feel in anabolic ways, we begin to act more consciously. We are no longer being led around by our own minds. We are the creators of our lives, and we know how to make choices that bring us greater success and happiness. So with this awareness of catabolic and anabolic energy to kickstart our personal revolution, we can then get real with ourselves. We can become aware of when these two types of energy are showing up in our lives and how they are affecting us. The levels of energy we exhibit are actually quantifiable and can be divided into 7 levels of experience. Each energy level has its advantages and disadvantages and provides us with a different experience of life. This chart displays these levels of energy and the core thoughts and feelings associated with each, as well as the actions and results that we experience at each level. When we assess our levels of energy, it takes the uncertainty, fear, and guesswork out of the get real stage. You can see exactly what it is that is holding you back and what you can tap into to create success. We all move through and experience all of the energy levels, but we tend to resonate in one particular place on the scale. There is a dominant energy that is driving our experience. One of the tools that we use to understand energy is what I like to call the C factor, because it measures your ability to change, create, and commit to revolutionizing your life. What would it mean to you to uncover exactly the ways that you are stressing yourself out, stopping yourself from getting a better job or finding a healthy relationship, and squashing your chance to be happy? I myself have experienced, and I also see clients experiencing that tortured space of, am I moving toward what I want? Am I stopping myself from getting what I want? Am I at the right job, in the right relationship, living in the right place, doing the right things? It goes on and on and on. By taking the assessment and finding out your C factor, you can start to get answers to these questions and stop torturing yourself. You can find out exactly what filters you have in place that are causing stress and anxiety, driving out of control behavior, holding you back from bigger and better opportunities, and keeping happiness just out of reach. Finding out your C factor will change your life, and it is such a great springboard for the personal revolution. Later on in your kit, you will receive information on how to take this assessment, but for now, I want you to understand that there is a way to know your own unconscious energy and begin to make conscious choices about it. Now I want to tell you another huge surprise about your experience. There are 4 main blocks that you throw in front of yourself that keep you from creating the life that you want. And I want you to really take this in, because learning to recognize and eliminate these blocks will set you free in a big, big way. So it's not the things outside of us that are stopping us from happiness, that are stopping us from success. It's something that's inside of us. I call this the rock star knowledge because a friend of mine once said that having this information made her feel like a rock star. She began to feel completely unstoppable and started creating like never before. I want you to remember the acronym BAIT to recognize these 4 big blocks, because when they come up, we don't want to take the bait and buy into their stories. Beliefs can be one block that we put in place. In particular, our limiting beliefs. Beliefs are pieces of information that come from outside of us that we take as truth. We believe them to be universally true, and so we never investigate them. We take them as fact, and we let them stop us. Limiting beliefs in action look like this. Work is meant to be hard. I'll never find a job that makes me happy. And when we think something like that, we never try for something better. We stay stuck. Another is, the world is angry and a messed up place. If you hold that belief, how can you ever experience peace and happiness? How can we be happy if we believe we live in an angry world? So we can dig up the beliefs that have kept us from moving forward. Look them in the eye and ask them, how true are you? We have the ability to discard empty limiting beliefs and structure new belief systems that serve us and drive us toward happiness. Assumptions are the baggage we drag around from our past. We have become so used to dragging them around that we may not even realize we are doing it. We don't realize what a heavy load we are carrying, and how emotionally and physically drained we can be from it. Assumptions are rooted in past events, and they can really get in the way of the personal revolution. These are an especially big factor in preventing us from being able to be healthier and have a healthier relationship with ourselves. For example, if you've failed at quitting smoking, or eating better, or exercising more, eventually you're just going to stop trying. If you have worked in a negative job environment, you might believe that all jobs are like that, and even if you are offered a better job, you won't trust it and won't take a chance. So you can see how through assumptions, you're going to stop giving yourself a chance to create. Nothing outside of you is preventing you from making change in your life. So you need to uncover the assumptions you hold that are stopping you before you even start. Interpretations are another powerful factor that affects your C factor. These are the stories we create surrounding the events or circumstances of our life. We develop a story, opinion, or judgment surrounding an event and hold on to it for dear life, even if that story hurts us. If our lens through which we view the world is catabolic, we are going to interpret every single event in our lives in a negative way. If someone is kind to us, we are going to say, they just want something from me. Interpretations can ruin our relationships. We play a guessing game as to the reasons for people's behavior. When you interpret through a catabolic lens, we shut ourselves down to possibility. We render ourselves incapable of finding solutions. We take our interpretation as truth and lose sight of the fact that it is merely an opinion or a judgment. This is why it is so important to not only understand our lens, but to be able to also spot when we are applying an interpretation to a situation. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain by letting go of interpretations. Last but not least, we have the tricksters. These tricky guys are the soundtrack of self-criticism that exists in your head. And they are tricky because they are so powerful that they fool us into believing their message. Sometimes the soundtrack is playing at such a low volume that we don't even consciously recognize it. But all the same, these messages hold us under their thumb. I'm not smart enough. I don't know enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not good looking enough. I'm not respectable enough. I don't have what it takes to be what I want to be and to do what I want to do. These are some of the messages that the tricksters send us. One of the biggest gifts we can truly give ourselves is to know our tricksters and learn how to shut them up by truly understanding that they are nothing more than an imagined message. Dennis Waitley, who is a well-respected voice in the arena of high-performance human achievement, once said, "It's not what you are that holds you back. It's what you think you're not." The tricksters want to keep you focused on what you think you're not. I want to share one of the rules of the revolution with you, which is this: play the game full out. We can remember this. Life is a perfect adventure, a game that cannot be won or lost, only played. What would you accomplish if you could play the game of life without worrying about results? How many things have we not done because we stopped ourselves at the beginning thinking, it's not going to work out, or I don't want to fail? What if everything was just an outcome to educate us in one direction or the other? That didn't work, I'll try this. Or that went well, how can we repeat that? And what would happen if we did it this way? At the end of the game, will we find comfort and joy in having avoided failure? Or will we find it in having played the game to the fullest and left no opportunities on the table? I invite you to look at the information and tools discussed here and think about how they can help you play the game full out. So with this awareness that you have gained in this video, I want you to be able to start to take action in your life. Action will raise your C factor and return you to a life of energy, clarity, and purpose. The coaching process is all about action. So what can you do now to make change in your life? One idea is to make a game plan for the game of life. We spend so much time focusing on what we don't want that we may not even be able to clearly answer the question, what do you want? Start to think about what it is that you do want in detail. Write it down, and don't forget to think big. We'll work on this more in the third installment of your Personal Revolution Kickstart Kit. We can also throw out the bait. Start to look out for limiting beliefs, assumptions, interpretations, and tricksters in your life. Keep a journal of when they come up and how you feel. This awareness is an important first step in kickstarting your personal revolution. Finally, don't forget to visit intheclearcoaching.com for articles and tools about how you can transform your mind and transform your experience. The next piece of the Personal Revolution Kickstart Kit will arrive in your email in the next couple of days. And this is the Get Real workbook. This is a great action step for taking the information that you have received in this video and turning it into transformation. It will help you gain awareness over the circuitry of your mind that is creating what you don't want in life. This workbook will help you recognize your triggers and buttons so that you can step off of the emotional roller coaster. You'll find out exactly what it is in your mind that is causing you to feel out of control. It will also help you understand painful feelings and stop being plagued by past hurts. And finally, it will teach you how to change your reaction to painful feelings and triggers so that you feel more in control of your life. So look out for this in a couple of days. In the meantime, don't forget to check out intheclearcoaching.com. So congratulations on kickstarting your personal revolution. I know that you are going to be amazed at what it brings you. And thank you for allowing me to help you on that journey.